Good. Excellent, we're rolling. Yeah. So if I can just swap my headphones here. Tell me if they still work. You hear me okay? Oh, I can't hear you on here. Let me see. Hiya. Hi, I can't hear you on the video thing. Is there a way you can hear me through the video or through the?
No, not just yet.
If you got your head.
Settings, I think here.
Okay.
Still need to figure out.
Ah, there we go.
Ah, perfect. Let me see. Hear me?
Yeah, I can now, finally.
All good.
We got there in the end.
I know. Good. So I just what like I said with Rich, like I said, what I wanted to do is for us to get a lot better at video because we are apart, and I want to make sure that I'm catching up with everybody as often as possible, helping how I can, and just being in person is tough every single week. So this is quite a good way to middle ground it as well. But what's new with yourself? What's happening?
Not a lot at the moment. This week it's just been busy getting everything ready for Wednesday and that kind of thing. Got a couple of meetings. I'm in the process of maybe forming a band at the moment. So a couple of different things going on with me. Writing's still going at the same time. So yeah, I'm filling my plate at the minute. This is the point in the year where I kind of get ready to be productive.
When I was in bands, I used to struggle. I don't know. I used to be the one that always had to coordinate it all, or maybe I just decided.
Yeah, I'm exactly the same. My problem is I'm too creative. So when there's other people involved, it instead of it being a collaborative process, I tend to kind of conduct, which is difficult. Which is kind of I think why writing suits me a little bit better because it's a kind of thing you can control yourself. So
yeah. What do you Well, sorry, my phone's going off. Is this a new band then?
Kind of. It's to be honest, I've been out of music as a hobby for like a good 3 years since like maybe a year after college.
Yeah.
So I was in bands on and off from like the age of 16 to around 18, but then I kind of dropped out of that for a little while. Went and explored some different routes in life. Obviously started writing, so that kind of took over that kind of creative outlook. But I've sort of weird point in the last couple of weeks. I woke up one morning and I had a song stuck in my head, and I suddenly thought back, like in sort of 2012, I had this SoundCloud account before SoundCloud kind of became a big thing where everyone kind of released their mixtape and that sort of thing. So I would kind of make music using guitar and drums, but I would stretch the drums so they sounded melodic, and I kind of mess with them with different kind of production methods until they didn't sound like the original instruments, but sounded like something completely different. So it'd kind of be like almost like electronic music, but made out of real instruments. So yeah, I would. That's what I would do. And there was like an audience of maybe like 15 people who really dug it, and because SoundCloud was such a small thing at the time, it was it was quite a niche niche audience that I had.
There's a guy.
Yeah,
Sorry, you go.
I just kind of wanted to get back into it recently. Talked to a couple of guys recently who I went to college with, and thinking about just seeing what we can do.
Do you have a kind of genre or style of music in mind, or will it be your stuff, or
the
guys come together? Is that when you?
I mean, it will be a little bit of influence from every kind of different background, I guess. Because I mean, with three guys at the moment who would be the kind of the forming whatever it is. But so obviously they're going to have different influences themselves. But I mean, my kind of biggest musical influence is going to be like blues, jazz, earlier rock, 80s stuff. So like Elvis Costello, The Doors as well, The Police, that kind of thing. Tom Waits I've started listening to a lot recently.
I know it, but Tom Waits, I need to look that up.
Tom Waits is an old jazz musician from kind of the 70s, but then his later albums are actually the things that got him the most attention, because his earlier albums were more kind of swing, kind of cocktail bar music. But as his voice kind of changed and got gruffer and gruffer, he kind of turned his music into this really strange kind of circusy sounding type stuff. I don't know. He's an interesting guy, because you see the way his music's progressed, and it's completely nuts how different the styles are compared to his like first album.
Really?
So yeah, Tom Waits is an interesting dude. It's actually the voice is who Heath Ledger based his Joker's voice on.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Have a listen to Tom Waits talking, and you'll see it immediately. It's incredible.
Really?
Yeah. Check him out, definitely.
I don't know who said, just from what you were saying there, I don't know who said this first, but I think some of the biggest musicians in the world, they talk about how they have this like one hit or a couple of hits. They feel they can't take full credit for it, because like you're saying, is sometimes you're writing, and then sometimes music just kind of comes to you.
Yeah, absolutely.
The pen's moving and or the hands are moving or whatever, and it just kind of happens. It doesn't feel like you, because you've had that.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, when I'm writing something, I normally make kind of like a playlist of things that would kind of go with the story, if that makes sense. But then obviously there is music that I have in my own head that I'm like, oh man, I wish I could like make this to go along with this.
Yeah.
But obviously finding music online that sounds similar to what I've got in my head is kind of the closest I can do at the moment. But one thing I'd really like to do in the far future is if I do ever publish any writing or any novels or anything like that, I'd love to make a soundtrack for a book, because not something anyone's done before. Kind of pairing music and like a novel. It would be really cool stuff.
Yeah, that is pretty cool. I've kind of had, I've seen. I haven't been to any of them yet, but have you seen some of these live action movies? I guess so. You're playing Fantasia or something on the stage, on the theatre stage, but then they've got a live band with it, and it's meant to just be next level good.
No, I haven't. That sounds awesome, though.
I think we did it with big films. So I think Fantasia's one. I think The Lion King is another one. Yeah. Anything that's got the music is important. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Cool. So with what I wanted to do today, like I'm saying, I've been making a real effort to get really deliberate with what we cover and moving us forward. I think the guys have done best. It's when they've had like one thing to think about, they've mastered that, and then they add one more skill or tool to their belt. If that sounds good. And I'll forward you just everything that we chat through. But I had a kind of idea of some things to cover, but I was really keen to hear from you how it went with the habits that we spoke about last time. Yeah, it's going good, definitely. Main thing is I'm kind of trying to get out of kind of negative thought patterns. So rather than being like, oh, it's quiet in here today. Instead, you can kind of focus on, there's not that many people around, which means the other reps aren't necessarily going to pay in that much attention. Yeah. So that means that if I talk to as many people as I can, the chances are I'll probably still make a couple of sales. So it's turning positive things out of everything, essentially, is what I'm trying to do at the moment. And music, I've been doing that as well. So I've been going in, and first thing I do is play the Miami Vice soundtrack or something like that, Glenn Frey, and just put it on the A70, and it's
It's got that amazing bass line and that saxophone, and you can't not get pumped up by that. So,
well, yeah, just on your point, I think you're completely right. Is the guys in Story, right? They talk about it being quiet. I think that's really just a concern for John Lewis. If you're John Lewis Welling, and if your numbers are down by 10 grand, or whatever, that's probably a concern, because they think, well, you know, your job security, you get nervous about that, and I think a lot of the time you'll probably find this, that it just makes it easier. You know, if it's quiet, and you get less, I guess. But I've always found when it comes to what we do is we're not trying to sell £100,000 a day, or it doesn't, you know, we're not that far off. It's just yourself, that one store looking to sell one more unit. So I think some of the best days have come from when it was being quiet, because, like you're saying, everyone's half asleep.
Yeah.
What I was hoping to do as well is, can you see the screen that I can see? Can you see the?
Yeah. The screen mirroring has worked. 10 daily habits.
This is something a bit more, I get more formal than we've done, but if we can keep track of this each time we speak, I think that'll help us progress. And I really want these calls to be like coaching calls. So you go away with, right, this is what I know how to do now, you know, really deliberate. This is kind of what we spoke about last time. Last time we spoke was the habits of, well, how would you summarize that from memory of what importance in the morning habits was?
Basically just the patterns that you've noticed on a good day that have helped push you towards more success. So anything that has a positive impact on your sales, on your frame of mind. So we could be something like music. It could be talking to the right people. It could be just talking to when you're approaching as many people as you can. I got in a bad habit recently of kind of not necessarily approaching everyone, just because I'd kind of read the room a little bit too much, if that makes sense. And I'd second guess myself, and I'd be like, oh no, it doesn't look like they're buying. They look like just passing through. But you know what? If you talk to everyone, there's got to be slightly more of a chance of selling, just by the sheer fact that you're talking to more people. Like, it's just probability at the end of the day. So that's one thing I've been trying to get into as well.
And well, yeah, and I think you're right with all that. The other thing to think about with habits is it's not really about the one conversation you're having with one person and whether that works out. If you've got the right habits of using every time it's quiet, I find somebody to speak to, or every time I find one person. That might not, that person might say yes, they might say no. It doesn't really matter. That doing that all the time will inevitably allow you to do better.
Absolutely.
And like you're saying, protect your mind. Too many things can get in the way of a good day. But does to kind of have those 10 things. And I know you mentioned a couple of them, but just so I've got a note of it in front of us, you said music was one. Miami Vice.
Yeah.
What you said, speaking to somebody when there's no one.
Yep. So speaking to every customer that you possibly can, and avoiding kind of that second guessing.
Yep.
Where you think, no, they're not here to buy. They're just passing through. I talk to them anyway. They might still be interested. They might think, oh, my brother needs something like this, or oh, my nan said she can't hear the TV, or like it doesn't have to be for them, but yeah, talking to everyone you possibly can.
You're right. Is if someone's walking in and they might just make sense for their son, for their brother, for whatever. I know Jamie Mold's had a lot of success with that, with people buying, but then also their brother and sister-in-law and dad buying a second unit from him a couple of days later, because he's,
oh wow, that's cool.
The first person was semi-sold on the product, but the person that they brought in later on was in need of what we do. Okay, so that's how many? That's 1, 2, that's 3 main things. How about in the morning? We spoke about the morning things that are going to help you put you in a better mood? What was some of those?
So in the morning, don't go in stressed. Take 5 minutes at the door. If you're in a rush, you give yourself 5 minutes to kind of breathe and then go in. Obviously that goes with kind of leaving stuff at the door, you know, like leaving your whatever worries you have at the door. But there's something else I was going to say about customers. Let me think. Staying moving, to be honest, during the first part of the day, just keep walking as much as you can, because that's when that kind of early morning, that kind of fuzziness will get to you, and you don't want that. You want to walk in and just not stop. I find that my best days are when I kind of, from the moment I walk in, I'm doing something, you know, like I don't kind of, right, okay, it's the morning, I'm gonna stand and I'm just gonna check such and such, I'm just gonna go over here for a second. Like, I find that my best days start with an active morning, because that kind of puts me in gear, you know, for like the rest of the day.
Yeah. No, I find that. I find unless I move from the car to the shop floor as quickly as I can, I'll always get distracted with saying hi to somebody, or I'll I might even at times justify a coffee, just like, I'm feeling a bit tired, let me grab something first. All this stuff, but really, it's not that important. The best thing to do, like you say, is get into the shop floor as soon as possible, and movement. The excuses don't really arrive. So that's how many things. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. Stay moving. What would be 4 more that we could do that you know will give you a better day?
Let me think. Getting that first demo as quick as possible. So obviously, I'm walking into the door.
Yep.
You want to talk to as many people as you can, because the sooner I get the first demo, the better I feel about the rest of the day, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Especially if it's a good first demo. A good first demo will put you in an amazing mood. It's can't praise that enough.
Good time is then to let's set a time to what first demo before what time? What do you think is
before 11 o'clock, ideally? Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, that's something we can look at. I would have said that would make me really, I don't know, but I guess not with you, but would make me really nervous. We started at 9, that would be a whole 2 hours without really demoing. Do you think we could maybe demo a partner? Would that be worth doing?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. Normally first demo would be like finding someone who's interested, but I suppose any demo that could go under just any kind of demo. I thought before 10 that would be good.
If
a really good day.
Goal, if you're trying to get the nerves, if you're get rid of the nerves and trying to get into get going, probably doesn't matter as much who it is as much as just getting it done.
Yeah.
So almost, and that sense of urgency, right? It's better to have a demo before 9:30 than a perfect demo by 11 o'clock, because that's an hour and a half in which you're.
That's true.
And you'll find that a couple of weeks from now, you'll find that every partner's been demoed every morning, and then you think, well, who else can I show? Or who haven't I spoken to? Okay. What would 2 more be? What could we do? Breakfast. You find what you eat makes a difference?
Yeah. Normally go for a light breakfast on a work day. Definitely.
Okay.
So I'll have like some fruit, croissant, something like that.
Yeah.
Nothing that's going to kind of weigh me down. Coffee, obviously.
That works.
Yeah, I wouldn't say food is the kind of makes a huge difference in the morning.
Okay.
I'm not sure. I'm trying to think of.
What are things you enjoy doing? What do you know puts you in a better mood in the morning?
Puts me in a better mood. Music will be one of them.
Yeah. You listen to music on the way to work?
No. I lost my headphones like a few months ago, and Yeah, it's on my ever growing list of things to do. But
do you go for like proper headphones, or do you go for free with your iPhone headphones like me? Yeah,
I would love to have a proper pair of over the ear headphones. But I used to have just a little pair of in-ear ones, but I know they're terrible for your ears, or so everyone tells me at work. But
yeah, the wireless ones, I know. I mean, it's some kind of something radio wave that isn't great, but that's fine. What would be one more thing then that you know then? I mean, I would say if you enjoy music, if it were me, if I enjoyed music every morning, I would say some headphones is better than no headphones, just for that. You know, if you're in a better mood.
I know exactly what it would be for the last one.
Yeah.
It would be talking to one of the other reps and getting them in a better mood.
Nice. That's a great one.
Getting them in a slightly better mood. Because if Mo's feeling down about the day, then that will affect me at some point. It just makes sense for everyone there to be on the same kind of wavelength.
Yeah.
And that either means that I go down with them or they come a little bit up with me. And I prefer one of those.
Yeah, no, I get that. I think that used to be, I mentioned Jay before, but that is one thing he tries to do is he's like, he thinks of it like his own team. Like my team.
Yeah, I'm starting to get that way, you know. Like I find that the other reps there, honestly, they help me out. Weirdly enough, they probably help me out more than John Lewis staff would do.
Yeah.
Maybe that's just because I spend more time with them and we kind of get used to each other.
Maybe.
But obviously, that's not they're going kind of against their prerogative there, which is kind of funny. But yeah, for example, the other day, Mo was having a really slow day, and what's happened to my screen?
You've disappeared on my end.
Okay, I don't know what I've pressed. I don't think I've pressed anything. Start video.
Here we go. All good?
Okay. Yeah, like the other day, Mo was having a really slow day. He was worried about his nephew being born later on in the day, and he was worried about if he had to leave early or if Sony people came down.
Yeah.
He clearly had a lot on his mind. I said, "Hey, Mo, there's a really good sushi counter in Waitrose. You've never tried sushi. We talk about food a lot, me and him.
Yeah.
He cooks quite a lot at home because he's got a very big family. So he's like, he knows a fair bit about food. But I was talking to him about sushi, and he just couldn't grasp the idea of why people would enjoy it.
Yeah.
So I took him to Waitrose, got him some sushi, and he literally said to me, "Where has this been all my life?" So I think little things like that, feeling like I'm kind of doing someone else a favor.
Yeah.
But at the same time, that will reflect on me as well, because these are the people that I spend my day with. Like, of course, their mood will affect how I'm feeling. So it's kind of a win-win, you know?
Massive. Yeah. I mean, the people they're going to make your job easier, or they're going to get in the way, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I think the great thing about those habits is those are your habits. Those will be different for, the other members of the Mavericks. Even that, those will be different from the ones that motivate or bring me down. Like we spoke about before, is these are things that you think will help you do better. So to do them every morning that you work, it makes a whole bunch of sense. To not do them, seems madness, right? Is if you know what helps you and you don't do it, then that's just insanity. You know, doing the same thing.
Yeah. I remember.
So I would say I'll email them across just what we said here, so you've got a copy, and maybe just. I mean, what do you think to this? Is having a printout or
to tick them off? That's a great idea.
1 to 10, just go. Am I ready yet? Am I ready for the day? Because all these things will be done by 10 a.m. and you'll be flying.
Yeah.
Get rid of that anxiety and that feeling of I need to get the first sale. So when you approach that customer at 9:45, you're ready, rather than 2 when you've had to reset yourself because you weren't ready in the morning.
Yeah.
Massive.
So the printout thing, is that if I send you a PDF, is that something you can do?
Yeah, 100%. I will sort that out, definitely.
Great. We can do that this week. What I was just after we spoke about that, is you had I don't know if you know, you had a £1,247 day. I'm not sure how you have that. I guess there was a reduced unit there.
Was that after the conversation we just had?
The weekend before it would have been, yeah.
Weekend before. Was that a Saturday? I saw like 4 units or something like that.
Yeah.
I do remember having a really good day, but I don't remember how much was sold.
Yeah. Okay. Just by the by as well, is what I'm trying to create is a breakdown for the end of the month. So that shows you exactly what you did in the 4 weeks, and it shows you where you made commission, where you didn't, and hopefully all 4 weeks you did, and also the impact of having a good or really good or really bad week. I'll send you a design I've got for that, and tell me if it's something you would use every month, and then if it is, we'll create it, and I'll give you a breakdown. Okay. Sound good? The one thing I wanted to go over today is, well, it's really to help with that. Well, it's one objection, and I don't know when it comes to you. Do you like to take notes on your phone or take notes on paper like me? What do you like doing?
Yeah, I do tend to be taking notes on paper most of the time. Yeah.
Yeah. I've got something to cover with you. Do you have a notepad or where you can take it down?
I don't. I'm doing it on my phone for now, though. Yeah, that's no problem.
Okay. So, how have you been getting on with P70 sales, P70 Wi-Fi sales? Because they have improved since we really started focusing on it. You know, you did. I don't know if you know, but you did in January. You sold. Well, in December, we didn't quite sell any because it was just being introduced. January we sold 1, and then we sold 7 P70 Wi-Fis in Welling. So that's well done. It's a lot better.
Yeah. I think since having one, it's made my appreciation for it just skyrocket.
Yeah.
Like I will sell the P70 occasionally over the A70, even if people are looking to spend a bit more. Like if you want an all-in-one.
Yeah.
You know, it's easy to sell at the end of the day now that I've got it at home, because the sound quality in a slightly smaller environment is just miles above. And obviously because I've got mine just plugged into a CD player, like I can hear details and stuff like that. And I will use that line. Like I'll talk to people and I will say, look, I actually do have this one at home. I've just got it plugged into my CD player because I'm old fashioned like that. And it'll pick out details that you just haven't heard before in your music. And obviously if you're watching movies, it'll do the same with the speech and the same with all the background noise. You'll get so much more depth. And
all reasons to sell it. I think that's great. I was gonna one objection that I know you've said has come up and a few other guys have mentioned is just the price. How are you getting on with the £400 price tag? Is that something most people are okay with, or there's something really?
So there are price objections, definitely. But to be honest, one way I have found that you can kind of overcome that or get someone to accept that if they spend this money on this instead, they may be getting something that isn't necessarily going to be worth their time or their £200. Normally I will, if someone says, so what's the difference between this P70 and this, I don't know, let's say Sony 189 soundbar like this big with a super thin subwoofer that slides underneath. I'll say for one, air sound. That's why this is more expensive. Number two, this is wood paneling on the inside. So it is a craft rather than just kind of, I wouldn't say an accessory. Well, it is an accessory because that's one other thing I do say to people is that when you're buying a TV from, when you're buying a soundbar from a TV brand, TV brands don't think there's anything wrong with their speakers. They are making an accessory at the end of the day that's going to be mainly for a volume boost.
Yeah.
It might not do too much in the way of clarity. It might do a little bit for bass, but as far as clarity of speech and depth and all that kind of thing, as far as all that goes, you will be missing out a lot, especially with clarity of speech, considering wood paneling on the P70 is going to cancel out all that distortion.
Yeah.
And give you much more of a cleaner sound. When you've got the bass up loud on some of the other ones here, you're going to get kind of a shake, fuzzy sound, and obviously because it's a smaller unit, and it's just going to be stereo, it does make that sweet spot in the middle. So it's getting easier and easier to say to someone, there is a reason this soundbar here is like £200, just like there's a reason why this one's 400. Like you are buying, you do get what you pay for, and so I don't always overcome that objection. Sometimes people do kind of say, well, I just don't have the money. I just don't have the budget.
Sure.
And what can you do at that point, you know?
Well, I'm glad you said that, because that's exactly what I wanted to cover today. I've spent a good amount of time listening in on the customers that are saying no to the P70 Wi-Fi, and they kind of fall into three categories. Well, there's three types of customers, the customers fall into three categories when it comes to the P70 Wi-Fi. I'm talking specifically about those customers that weren't prepared or weren't ready to spend £400. They were going to get a soundbar for 200, 300 quid. That's what they came in.
Yeah.
So if you write this down, those customers really fall into three categories. This first is they have no problem with it. You know, they go, yeah, I get that. Or really, I guess the first one is they don't think that it's worth £400. That's the first one. They just, you show them everything it does. You talk about air sound, you talk about wood, you talk about craft and British, whatever. And they just don't think it's worth 400 quid. That's the first customer. The second category is they think it's no problem. Like, great, yeah, it seems better. They get the logic, and they're quite happy to. And those are your customers. Those are probably your 7 customers, or at least 6 of them, right? Is maybe 5 of them, but they're customers that weren't prepared to spend £400, but did anyway. So we don't have to worry about them. The third category is, and tell me how many you've come across, but the third category is they get that it's worth £400, but they're just not ready. As they go, they might say it as implicitly as that, as they'll go, yeah, I get what you get for 400 versus £200. I wasn't expecting to spend £400.
Yeah. You need to be eased in a little bit more.
Yeah, and they say, I need some time to research. I need to check my budget. I need to check with the wife. I need to measure up. I'll come back in the week. Any one of the, is that a customer you've come across? Yeah,
like that's 70% of John Lewis. Yeah.
So what I'm going to cover now is going to help with that massively. So obviously the customer that doesn't think it's a big deal and goes for it anyway, great. Just the key is to get it done as quickly as possible. And I would talk to that customer about buying 2 of them. If they see the value, no problem at £400, money isn't a problem. So why not buy 2? That's your £800, £1,200 customer.
Yeah.
When they don't see the value of £400, that's a really tough one. For now, we'll come back to it, but for now, I would move that customer on fast. But the customer who's open to it, who gets the £400 but isn't ready, I want you to think about this, Josh, is what's the feeling they have? Why they logically get it, right? They get £400 versus £200, but why aren't they buying? What's the feeling they have? If that was you, how would you feel? What would be the feeling that's holding you back from buying it?
I guess you'd feel like you were being sold to, I suppose. That would be an element.
Yeah. It's, if you think of a kind of linear track here, they came in with some expectation of spending £200-300, say. All of a sudden, they're being asked to spend £400.
Yeah.
Get the logic, but they don't want to progress because it's all kind of going a bit fast. Is that fair?
Yeah.
So it isn't that. I think the biggest mistake we can make is we can try and convince them more that it's worth £400. But they don't need convinced of that, right? They know it's worth £400. They agree with that. What they're struggling with is the suddenness of it all, and I'm a bit trapped. Yeah, that's the feeling they have. They're on board logically. It's just emotionally they're not quite there yet. They're shocked. So I've got one technique. When you recognize, you know what, this is an emotional thing. It's not logical. They get what I'm saying. I want you to summarize. So I would write this down on your phone. But summarize what we have, what it is. So what you have here is the P70 Wi-Fi comes with this, and the things that made sense to them. Summarize it so they know what they're thinking about. And then I want number 2 is to highlight that you know it's a surprise. I'll write this down for your notes here as well. 1, to summarize, and 2 is recognize almost that it's a surprise.
See if we can get another rhyme in there.
Yeah, surprise. If you think of it, tell me. The number is to tell them it's okay. Lots of people have felt that. Neutralize. There you go. You tell them it's okay. Neutralize. And then number 4 is give them breathing room.
Breathalyze.
Breathalyze, yeah. And what I mean by that is to walk away and leave them.
Yeah.
They tell you they're going to walk away and leave you and come back.
Yeah.
So that could be any excuse to disappear for 5 minutes, you know?
But if you walk away from them, they'll probably stay there.
Yeah, you need to be the one. I mean, absolutely give them breathing room and think, because really what they need to do is they need to discuss it without you. They need to think without you there, because they want to think openly, and probably they want to talk to each other about this new scenario without the salesman telling them what to think. And that's why people say, I'm going to take a coffee. I'm going to get a coffee, because it's not that they need a coffee to think, is they want the breathing room. So we give them that and keep them in the John Lewis. Otherwise, they'll disappear home, and it's the law of diminishing return. You know, if they get home, they'll forget what they're doing. 6 months later, they're coming to John Lewis and go, oh yeah, I was looking at sound bars.
Yeah.
So those are the 4 things. So the way that would look is summarizing it, recognizing. So you look a bit surprised. Most people don't realize what a quality soundbar or speaker costs nowadays, and tell them that's okay. A lot of people just need a bit of time to get used to the idea.
Yeah.
Those that go ahead with it really value it. Tell you what, I need to go and check stock. I need to go and check another customer. I need to go and speak to the manager for a second. I need to go for the toilet, whatever you want. An excuse. I need to go and do something. I'm going to give you just 5-10 minutes just to mull it over, and I'll be back and I can answer any questions that you think it's for you. And then the last thing as well is the buying atmosphere. And you know what I mean by that is you know what, if it ends up being for you, great. If you talk about it and decide that it's not for you, it's absolutely no problem.
Yeah.
No difference to me. Because so what you're essentially doing here is giving them all the information they need, letting them mull it over in a place that they feel they can say no. And the stress will drop, the fear of saying no to the salesman will drop, and they'll be able to talk about it logically. And that 5-10 minutes might just be enough for that panic to settle, and they'll get comfortable with the idea pretty quickly.
Yeah.
How does that sound?
Fantastic. Yeah, these are things that I started off doing, but kind of gradually, the longer I've been in the position, I think I've gotten out of some of these habits. So hearing them again is it's good. It's refreshing me, kind of bringing it all back, you know.
Well, I tell you what, the Mavericks and the Champions are the 2 winning teams at the moment. That might change, so I wouldn't get too safe. The Champions just overtook, but what you notice in all the guys on those teams is they're on every call. They want to learn. And they implement everything that they talk about. So that's one thing that when that comes up this coming weekend, because you will get that customer. I get that it's £400. I'm just not ready. Is essentially that customer. That this is what to try with them. And if it doesn't work the first time, it's because it's brand new to you. But I was keen to set a goal for this weekend. Is what do you think a good 3-day, good week goal would be?
Yeah.
What do you face? Because the guys that have implemented this have doubled the amount of P70 sales that they've done.
Okay.
Because there are just those customers that do this. So this will double your P70s if you want it to. But what do you think is a good goal that we can commit to for this week?
For this week, I want to try and get a couple of units on Friday, because Fridays for a good few weeks now have been a fruitless endeavor. So I'm going to try and get 2 units on Friday.
Yep.
And then this weekend, want at least 2 units on both days. I don't want to have a 1 unit day.
So 2 units Saturday.
Yeah.
2 units Sunday.
That's a minimum. That would be nice.
Well, let's shoot for the thing you actually want to achieve. If I get why people say minimum, but I find when people say minimum,
I mean, realistically, this is this is what we'd be looking at.
Okay.
It'd be nice to have another 5 units Saturday, but I mean, I was there this weekend. It's not. It might not always be doable.
And remember, the numbers we're talking about is 2 people. And you know what? Maybe in one of these days, 1 person buys 2 units. So that's 6.
Yeah.
That's 3 times as much you did. That's only 6 people in 25 hours. It doesn't seem that much, right? It's 1 every. 1 customer every. What's that? Not that much. 2 units. So a 9-hour day. 1 every. A customer for the first half of the day, customer for the second half.
Yeah, it's definitely doable.
Good. The one thing I was going to mention as well about Ted Fletcher Club, like it's my favorite event of the year. One of the reasons why is it's getting everybody in the same room, and I would really use that time to find people that you don't know very well, but do well. So that might be. I'm trying to think like Julian. Julian's a great guy that knows how to sell a lot of units, and consistently he knocks out units Friday most weeks. That's a guy that you obviously hadn't had too much of a chance to get to know. But regardless who it is somebody that you don't know very well. And you don't have to go into how to sell more units on the Wednesday night when we're enjoying just the year and the Ted Fletcher Club. But I would at least say hi to some of these guys. Because that's the way I've always found is best for myself and others to grow, is to get around the right people and to say, you know what, now's not the time to talk work, but can I grab your mobile and we'll speak in the week? I've never asked that question to somebody and they've said no.
Cool, excellent.
What do you think is a good time to speak again? What's the time that works for you in the week?
This week or?
So I guess we'll see each other coming Wednesday. So the next week would be good.
Next week, honestly, I think any day apart from Tuesday and Friday. Obviously, I'll be working. So pretty much any day next week is pretty much fine.
If we did Thursday.
Yeah, Thursday's fine. I'll make a note of that.
Yeah, if we can figure out a regular time as well. So let me think. Does 9 a.m. Are you? Did you get up in the morning early or 9 a.m.?
Yeah, most of the time. I wouldn't say 9 a.m. I'll always be ready for a call. I'll probably be still kind of getting my shit together. I'd say
10?
11 would probably be 10 or 11.
Cool. I'm gonna say 10 just to challenge you just a little bit.
All right, no worries.
Too much, not to be a dick. But yeah, I think if we recap on just that, Josh, is figure out those 10 habits that you know help you have a better day. The new I'll send you a PDF of those 10 things, so you can tick it off each day. The new idea is overcoming P70 Wi-Fi. So we'll call it the surprise objection. And the way to do that is, or the sign of that is, people that just aren't ready yet. They get the 400, they're just not ready. And we summarize it, we recognize it, we tell them okay, we give them breathing room, and then the buying atmosphere, and then we come back to see what the verdict is.
Yeah.
Do you want to repeat those things back just to see if you've...
Yes. So obviously starting the day with music is good. Speaking to every person. So having kind of a fast day. So avoiding second guessing. So rather than kind of looking at someone and thinking, they're just passing through, just approach them anyway. It's literally not going to take 5 minutes out of your day. There'll be no harm in doing it. Like, just do it. 5 minutes to reset if you're kind of in a rush or a little bit anxious in the morning before you walk through those doors. Staying moving, so literally just from the moment you walk in, trying to keep on your feet. Stay busy. Don't kind of let the morning be the quiet moment, you know, because the rest of the day is going to take you by surprise. You kind of want the morning to be the bit where you get thrown in the deep end, and then the rest of the day kind of slowly gets less and less, you know. That's what you want. First demo before 10 a.m. Because that's always a good way to start the day. With a good demo. Excuse me. Like breakfast, obviously, just to keep me going. Coffee, always. I'm going to need one of those right now, I think. Music, just in general, I think, is...
Just keeping the music going.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, excellent. So
I'm going to get the tablet that we were given that hasn't had a lot of use, and I'm going to fill it with playlists. So, because I found recently that the Bluetooth on my phone is completely awful, and my phone doesn't work with the John Lewis Wi-Fi, so I might get the Orbit Sound app going, or Spotify or something like that, and just make a nice playlist of every John Lewis appropriate song I own. Yeah.
You do. I'll write that down as well, and it'd be good to send me it if you have it ready.
Yeah, I will do. Absolutely.
Okay, and then the goal is 6 units, which is about, depending on what you sell, but if it's P70s, that's what 400 times 6, £2,400. So that'd be a lot better than that. That would put you in good news for once.
Absolutely.
We'll speak Thursday at 10 a.m. Good. Well, I'm glad we did this. Hopefully that's some really valuable stuff. And
absolutely.
Put up this habit of just speaking like this and this much depth, I think, is something that's going to help us both. Yeah,
definitely.
Good. Well, I have to shoot to my next call, but it was good to catch you, Josh. I'll see you soon.
No worries. You too, mate. I will, see you Wednesday.
Yeah, see you then.
Okay. Awesome. Cheers. Where is